talking about UX,
One
user
second, one second.
experience.
Let me just,
What's that?
this stream is started. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, great. So today we'll be talking about user experience and basically the entire journey of how it started and what exactly UX is, and we'll be breaking down every single step of how what exactly UX is, because this is a it's a very vast topic and it is widely misunderstood. So let's start with that. Let's start with what is UX. So Trehan, would you like to go first on this?
Yeah, definitely. So again, user experience, if you're talking about that. So generally we have connected, we have also connected a lot of sessions on UI, that is user interface design, and UX is something that we haven't talked that much about, but definitely we need to. So this session, I think, will help a lot of people to understand about it. So to just briefly kick it off with like what UX is. So this is user experience design. So let's take an example. You use WhatsApp daily, and even your grandparents use it. Your younger siblings use it. Everyone from the age of, I think, I have a younger sister who started using WhatsApp, or was able to navigate through WhatsApp and send those stickers and GIFs at the age of 5. So it goes from 5 till 83, 90 and above. Like whoever is using it, they are using it. So that is basically user experience, that it is so so seamless. So it's like it's not even there, right? That's the main thing, that you don't even realize how beautifully the designers have integrated almost every single thing, all the actions, all the page transitions, and whatever things they have placed, the icons, the searching and everything is just so amazing that even a 5-year old and an 80 above person can also use it. So that is basically user experience.
Yep, exactly. Put in a great way. So UX again, I think a random misconception is also that UX is just limited to digital space.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. If I talk about UX in general, just as a term, user experience is just what it says. The term itself explains it, right? So I am sitting in a room right now. I have my laptop in the front. I'm talking to you guys. This is an experience, right? This is one experience. If I go out somewhere, if I'm just traveling somewhere and I go to this new place, that is a new experience for me. And if I it's based on every single thing that you do. So similarly, similar to making living experiences, digital experience is a different thing. So your interaction with a TV remote, or your interaction with any product for that matter, any product, your shoes, your whatever that you're using, things that you're using around you. So all of these are user experiences. They're not a different topic. They're just the same thing. These are user
exactly.
experiences, and that is what UX is. People have this misconception that if you look at a website, so whatever you look at a website, that is the UI and that is UX also. So a lot of designers also, when they're starting out, they call themselves UI and UX designers. I did that mistake too. Like I didn't know what UX was. I was like UI, and then UX comes along with it. But that's not true. Thing is,
Correct.
UI is just the interface. UI is what you can see. Okay, so if it is about your laptop, it is just what you can see. UX is your interaction with it, how you feel, how you interact with your laptop. So UX is just the summation of so many things. The integration of so many things together is your UX. So if we talk about UX as a concept in like making digital spaces for people, maybe building a website or making an app for a person, it's not just the pages that you see, the app pages that you see on your screen. It's also how the user is interacting with one small feature. So, for example, the double tap feature on Instagram, right? It's so seamless, it's so effortless. You don't have to put in anything. You're not using your brain. Like, do you guys ever have this feeling where you open Instagram and just start scrolling, and then without even knowing, you are you keep scrolling. You do not realize that you're scrolling, but you just keep doing it because again, that is a very vast concept. Again, brings in a lot of psychological terms as well. So there again, the user experience is what is basically the designers, the experienced designers have designed it in a way that you feel comfortable enough to just keep scrolling. It is completely effortless. You're not putting in any effort from your side. You're just there. So it's like, learning a skill, and after a while you get so accustomed to it that you don't realize that you're doing. I've heard a lot about people, after a while, after a good time of experience in driving, when you're driving you don't realize you're actually driving. You zone out, but you're still
Yeah,
going
it
the right way,
happens.
right?
It happens with me a lot. Like I am listening to some song and I'm driving, and then after I realize, after a while I realize, oh shit, I'm driving.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
Exactly. So that is the experience. It's supposed to be seamless. It's not supposed to be complicated. So designing these experiences for people is what user experience designers do. And I don't think the industry is that evolved yet to appreciate the importance of UX designers yet. But
No,
yeah,
actually,
it is.
I read an article a while ago that talked about the same thing that you're talking about right now, that it's not just digital space, it's about general experience. So they have coined the term as CICX. That is customer
Customer.
interaction and customer or consumer interaction or consumer experience.
Mhm.
So, sorry, in every single industry, now they're applying the concept of CICX. So
Mhm.
that is
Yeah.
that thing which started with digital UI UX that has spread everywhere. Whether you're talking about the hospitality industry, hotels, restaurants, and everywhere, the CICX part, they have a particular CICX manager who takes the responsibility to manage the interaction with all customers. He looks after the uniforms of the waiters and everyone, and also the whole experience, the whole ambience of the place. So now all of the industries, not just hospitality, other industries as well, they're now focusing more and more on this CICX part. I recently
Yeah.
read about this in some article. I'm not remembering who wrote that, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it has become a thing now, and it is great. It's amazing that people have come to a realization that this is also an important part. Like, because when technology started evolving and there were so many new things coming in, things like, if we talk about the digital space, websites and apps were just just make do. They were not great for the user. They were
Yeah,
just, you could just use it. And slowly people have come to the realization that it is also important,
I have one more
how.
example for this. uh, just remember the first calculator app on a smartphone and the calculator app that you have right now. A simple app calculator. Okay, initially it was just a replica of any other smaller Casio or any company's calculator. They just replicated it with the buttons and everything. But now every single company, every single manufacturer has their own rendition of a calculator, and so much thought processes and all go into making a calculator. Like I have a OnePlus phone, so even this also counts as a kind of user interaction, I would say, or user experience. In my phone, if I write OnePlus, so I actually get their logo and all of that on my calculator screen, and that's just amazing to watch. Okay, and even Apple does this in their phones. I think Samsung also does this. So companies are trying to do that. I'll show you what happens. So this is the calculator app. I hope you can see the calculator app right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have written one plus right now, and as soon as I hit the equal button, you can see it changed to red screen and then never settle. So they
Uh-huh.
have done the branding even in
Yeah.
calculator, and a simple thing, simple app just like calculator. And these things actually increases the customer interaction towards your own brand. And that is why like I started with OnePlus 2 and I'm still at OnePlus 8 or something. So this happens in almost every single brand, because nowadays even brands are focusing on creating fans and not users. So
Yeah.
at that point, UI UX or CICX comes into play a lot.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. So I think that's a very nice play on branding there. They're
Exactly.
cleverly integrated their branding, and you're like, that's such a normal thing to use, right? Like a calculator, you just open it up and then you see the brand there, and then you instantly make a connection. So yeah, we will come to product design and UX design again. What's the comparison? What's the difference? And what these things are. So now let's talk about like how it started. Okay, so UX, before the term was even coined, we were following a certain user experience criteria or whatever you call it. So every time you design a product or every time you make something that's for the people, it's always designed in a way that it caters to the needs of the people. It's not catering to the needs of the provider or the person who's manufacturing it, right? So it's always for the people, it's always for the users. So if we look back, like, I don't know, like Stone Age, you would remember that how people played with trial and error, right? So they made stones with blunt edges. They tried to stab and make a kill, but that couldn't happen. So then they had like made stones and weapons with sharp edges. So then they realized that, okay, this works and this doesn't work. So that is also a part of how a UX works. It is all trial and error. And we are at such a great stage right now that we are still experimenting with UX and so many things that come into it, like behavioral psychology, right? Again, you'd think what does psychology have to do with UI and UX, right? What does it have to do with tech? But there's so much, like there's so many things that come into picture when you talk about UX. So how users perceive a particular thing, how a small element affects the mood of the user. So all of these things they started like long ago, and in I think 1993 to 1997, Don Norman was the one who coined the term UX. Again, he was working at Apple at the time, and he was the very first person to own the job title of a UX designer. And yeah, after that time, again, you would have seen a lot of people who focus on UX a lot. So I read this article where they spoke about Walt Disney being a great UX enthusiast because he works on creating like magical experiences and all that, right? It's so important that the whole Disney World concept, when you enter the place, I mean, I've never been there, but again, the entire point of it is to create an experience for people where they go in there and they have that entire Disney experience, have that's filled with bliss and like happy memories, and you remember your movies and all of the characters that you grew up watching. So that is also UX. So many people, above the lane, we've seen so many people play with UX and how exactly, to cater to the audience, to the users. And that's how UX came into evolution. Right now, like even if you compare anything, you take any simple example, your TVs, your mobile phones, your calculators, your whatever that is, there's so much evolution, and you can see how every bit has changed now. We have so many things, so many objects, and so many digital spaces and things that we use that have been made so much easier to use. They are not complicated anymore. And I don't know who said this, who's saying it is, but if a user has to think to, as to where to navigate in your app, then it's a bad UX. So the main point of UX is making
Yeah,
it
it's a
effortless.
joke also. I think that if you UX is like a joke, if you have to explain it, and then it doesn't make sense.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Yep. So that's
so
how it goes.
I read this from Reddit.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Reddit has great jokes on like all topics you'll find there.
yeah, correct.
So I think, yeah, that's all about the history of how UX came to be and how we've evolved. And now we have so many great tools for digital spaces. We talk about, we have so many great tools. And even if you talk about your general spaces, you have designers working on different aspects of your life. Like if you talk about your space, your homes, there are interior designers who work specifically on these things. And if you talk about any place, you have just like Trehan mentioned earlier, like hospitality industry, and there's so many industries out there who are working on this particular thing. So now let's move on from the history of UX and what is it, to talking about who are UX designers and who are product designers. So this again, it is a little bit complicated to understand because more or less they are doing the same thing, but if we talk about product designers, they have a lot to do with branding and understand relating branding, your brand, with the user. So just like the calculator example, uh, it is more of product design than it is UX design.
Exactly. That's right.
Yeah. So it's like UX design is all about the user, but product design integrates UX with a little bit of business strategies and including your brand there and creating that emotional connect. we saw Windows 11, Windows 11
Exactly.
in the UX breakdown, we spoke about how they wanted Windows to be the center of our ecosystem. Every time we
Exactly.
open up our computers, we see that Windows exists. This is the PC that we're working on, and it creates an entire experience. So that is your slightly pushing in branding in a way. That is very subtle, doesn't annoy the user. But if you talk about like ads and all that, because a lot of companies or brands do like harsh advertising. So
Hmm.
some apps that you open, you'll see like advertisements everywhere. Any website you open, you'll see like so many advertisements over there. But again, that's how some brands subtly introduce their brand, their strategies, as in what they stand for, into the UX. So product design is mostly to do with engaging or summing up your user experience with also some of the business strategies that you want to acquire. Because again, it is very important when you launch a product. It's not going to be all it's not going to be just that you launch it and then you don't talk about it, right? You're going to do your promotions. You're going to make sure that people know that it is your brand. So we know if we are launching a product, it needs to be known as the app's name. So if Instagram's launching a new feature, they're going to shout it out loud, say that Instagram
Exactly.
Reels is out.
Yeah.
So go check it out, Instagram Reels, and you'll hear the term Reels over and over and over again. So it's just not one feature; it's just one entire ecosystem altogether inside that app. So
So
product
basically,
design is a
like
lot
product
about that.
design kind of includes, it encompasses everything, UI, UX, and everything. And overall, along with UI, UX, you also introduce the whole working of the product from the ideation till the release state or the
Yeah,
launch state. And also, you then introduce certain factors like branding and empathy for the user and actual community contribution towards it. Like some brands are totally working on community basis, brands like brands like OnePlus, brands like Cred and all, totally based on what the users want. They're doing that, like especially in the advertisement area. Also, they are focusing more and more on their own audience, and then they're striking the right chord so that they can introduce their product to them. So product design is like kind of it encompasses everything, and a part of product design is UX design.
yeah, exactly.
Got it.
Yep. So let's talk about what it takes to become a UX designer or a product designer. So if you widely think about it, it's as we said, UX and UI is not just your visual screens or so many
Correct.
wireframes or just the screens that you see on Dribble, right? A lot of people like put up their work on Dribble, which is great, but again, most of them are not functional. You can't use them in real life. You can't actually develop these apps and put them out there because the functionality is a very important part of any product that you're launching, right? So what it actually takes to be a UX designer or a product designer. So I think we can break it down into two or three subcategories. One, like I think this is important for any job that you apply for, any career that you want to pursue. That's soft skills, because without soft skills, without the ability to communicate with your peers, with the people that you're working, nothing's going to go right. It's always going to be you'll have misconceptions, you'll have a lot of communication gap, you're not interacting with your peers properly, you don't have the right ideas of what
Correct.
you've been told to do. So I think soft skills is a very, very important part. When it comes to UI and UX, again, it becomes largely hugely important, because again, it is all about understanding, right? So UX is not just that you create an app and then you just stop updating its features. You just don't launch it and leave it, right? You keep updating
Correct.
its features. You take feedback from your users, which is a very, very important part. So taking feedback again, you roll out forms, you see how your user is actually interacting with your product. If they are facing difficulties, what are the pain points? So all of these things are taken into consideration. All of these things are taken into note, and only then a product is properly launched. So soft skills, again, to understand, to communicate, very important. And then again, because UI is a part of your entire ecosystem, that is UX. So again, even if you're not a very specific, as in your micro niche is not your UI. You need to have some knowledge of user interface, designing interfaces, and how they actually work. Because if you go out in the industry right now, you'll find a lot of job titles like UI designer, interaction designer, motion designers, and then you'll find UX designers. So all of these terms have separate roles. It's not that if you're a UX designer, you're doing the entire work, but you need to have knowledge of how the entire thing works. So that is also very important. So if you're a UI designer, you do not have need to have the knowledge of UX. You can be just a motion designer or just a user interface designer. So you'll be doing all the screen designing and all of that. But if you're a UX designer, you need to have a knowledge of almost everything that goes through. Basically you'll need, you're very close to know having the knowledge of what a product designer does, but maybe not much on the business side. But yeah, you need to have all of the
Exactly.
knowledge. So it's like jack of all trades, king of none. Is that what the saying is? I said it
Actually,
wrong.
I recently found out that the saying is actually not complete.
Oh,
Like, it has one more line after that. Like, they say na,
this
like jack of all trades and master in none, right?
master none. Yeah,
Master
yeah,
of none. But after that also there's something like I don't remember the whole thing. If someone here knows Akash is writing, I don't know where I heard it. I recently heard it. This whole line that it also has something at the end, and it's something like at the end. I too saw on reels. No, 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 not on
yeah.
reels. This is some article or some, I don't know, some YouTube video, some motivational and all. I don't know. But yeah, it has at the end that you at least still it's better than all, basically. That even if you're not a master of master, if you're not a master of any of the skills that you are learning, you're still, you have that much knowledge that you are still better than most of the people in almost everything. So being a jack of all trades is not like a bad thing that people generally say. So
Yeah.
definitely explore, do a lot of things, wear as many hats as you can, and try out all those things.
Yeah, I think this conversation also brings in like the debate between being a generalist and a
Ah, yeah,
specialist.
correct, correct.
So
Specialist again is nice if you are. But yeah, Akash wrote that a jack of all trades is a master of none, but
but
oftentimes better than a master of one. This is the
yeah.
whole saying.
Mhm. Yeah, it's
आकाश काफी रील देख रहा है.
yep. Yeah, so we've got the saying now. But yeah, I think it's also important that even if you're specializing in one particular field, you have knowledge of what's going on around you.
You should
So
always keep on increasing.
definitely, definitely. You need to increase your knowledge, and like
Correct.
even if you're like if you love what you're doing, even if you love the micro niche that you've chosen or whatever that you're doing, try exploring. It's not that you need to be restricted to one particular domain and that you can't get out of it. So it's always there, and you always have time to explore and see what's going on and what are the other fields that you might be interested in. So yeah,
So basically, everyone should be Dora the Explorer for their whole life. That
yeah.
was a lame joke, but fine.
Don't be
I was
Dora.
laughing. I was laughing in my head. I was like, I had to say this. I had to say this, but okay.
It doesn't sound that funny when you say it out loud.
हाँ, ठीक है.
Yeah, but don't be Dora. Dora was a little dumb, but yeah,
Okay. Sorry.
there's a
Yeah,
whole
just
joke
explore.
on around Dora, right? That she can't figure out
Yeah.
where things are. But yeah,
That was a joke. You realize it later. Okay, fine. Leave.
okay. So
Mechanical student in designing. That's great. Daksh is saying he's a mechanical student in designing now.
that's great.
That's nice.
Okay, so we've spoken about how you need to have knowledge of basically everything. It's you need to have knowledge of how UI works. You need to have knowledge of how research and analysis works, and all of that. How basically how the entire process works. You don't just start making a product, like you just don't start designing right away, right? In one of our sessions, we did a live build for the yoga studio website, where we showed how from the very start what is the process of starting or making an interface. So we started with research, and then we structured it down, then we made the design system, then we came to wireframes, and then we came to the UI, and then we developed it finally. So that's the entire process. And when it comes to building an actual product, the business aspects and promotions and how you're relating your brand to it also comes into the picture. So you'll also need to have a lot of knowledge about how research is to be conducted, how you analyze all of these things and all
Like
that.
for a
Again, then
startup, the main person at the starting, apart from the founding team and founders and whatever it is a UX designer. Because if it is a tech-based startup, which or a kind of a SaaS product kind of thing, that if they are building, if they are in the software industry, then a very small startup which has just started, then they begin with a UX designer. So that is the demand that I'm telling you right now, because there are just a lot of startups out there, and every single day a new startup is emerging. Everyone is trying to do something of their own. So UX designers, the demand is going to be exponential in the future. And I think so we hosted, I don't know if you guys know, but there's this person called Puneet Chawla, and we hosted him in a previous session earlier. If you want, you can check out the YouTube channel for that video as well, where he talks about UI UX. So even he talked about the evolution of UX over time, and what exactly UX is going to be later on. So the
yeah,
demand is just going to be amazingly, and it's just going to increase a lot. And then once you move a little bit a step higher, that's when you start thinking about your startup or whatever you're building as a product. And that is the time when you actually introduce product managers. So product manager is basically a product designer with business information.
yeah,
Okay, very, like, it's a very brief description of this whole job, but it is very difficult to be a product manager and manage everything. But still, like, product designer plus you also do the business part of business aspect of the whole thing, business and marketing. So yeah, so product designer as well as UX designers, the demand is just amazing right now as well as in the future also. So
yes,
definitely, if you are someone who wants to start in the field of designing or UI UX, or specifically the UX part, the user experience, because most of the time what you'll be doing is you'll be conducting researches. That means a lot of documents, a lot of forms, a lot of surveys, a lot of Google Sheets, Excel sheets, whatever you want to call them. There will be a lot of those things, a lot of chart papers and flow charts and all of that. Sticky notes are going to be everywhere. That's how it looks like in the start. But yes, it is a very exciting job, because you get to make something from scratch. Like, there's nothing there, then you actually start with that idea and you make something out of it. And that thrill is just something that's amazing. So product manager or product designer, or UX designer, these people, the job that they have is really, really exciting, and each and every project is just amazing to do.
yep, exactly. I just remembered an example for UX again. So we recently posted this case study on how Ford, has stopped business in India and all that. So one of the major reasons why they stopped, producing is because India needs, they require hatchbacks and those small
We haven't posted
cars.
it yet. I was confused. We are posting it next week.
Oh my God.
Okay, okay, you
Okay,
discuss.
anyway, let's just talk about that. So, Ford basically what they did is they are more interested in producing sedans and all of that. So, what exactly happened is that you also need to gauge your audience. So, what they did wrong is they kept producing sedans, but the requirement was for hatchbacks. And it depends. Even if you're creating an amazing experience, you need to relate it to the situation and what kind of people are around you. So if the experience for people in India is going to be different from the experience for people in any other country.
Correct.
So it's going to be different in different places. So you also need to gauge what kind of audience you're playing with, and
Plus, in
what
the automobile
exactly.
industry, CICX is the most important, because if your customer experience at the ground level, where the showroom is or whatever place that you're buying a car, is not great. I love when I go to showrooms to just normally check out a car, because the kind of experience, the whole environment they set up is just so amazing that you feel like, yeah, आज तो ले ही लेते हैं कार यार. Because they'll first of all, the whole seating arrangement is amazing. I like places which have, some seating arrangement. I hate malls in that case because there's no seating arrangement. I love malls which have some kind of seating arrangement. Those are
Okay.
good malls.
Yeah.
But yeah, car showrooms and all, you get the seating arrangement proper, like different. Some sofas are there for some people, some are there, coffee tables kind of thing. Then they like there's a whole step in that. You go into the showroom, they make you, they make you sit at the particular place. Then someone comes and assists you. They ask you for, some beverages, tea, coffee, whatever you want to drink, and then they will come with a proper pamphlet and all. One person in a tie and everything will sit and explain the features and discuss the pricing, and it's just so good, the whole experience. I have been to like almost all of the showrooms. Like I've not been to like extremely expensive car showrooms like Mercedes or BMW that are there in India, but I have been to all of these like Nissan, Renault, Maruti, Nexa, and Honda. All of these. Not Honda though. Hyundai. That's Honda. Only one car is there, na Brio. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the experience again in this whole industry, it's the most important, because if you go at a showroom and that person is not behaving properly, you're gonna end up not buying that car, and also you're gonna end up hate that company as well. कि नहीं यार, इसकी डैश की गाड़ियां नहीं बेकार होती हैं, वो एक्सपीरियंस भी बेकार होता है, वहां पे जाओ तो कुछ ध्यान नहीं देते कस्टमर पे, एकदम बेकार है, मत लेना भाई.
Yeah.
And even
So
after you buy it, the whole process again, it has another process after that. You buy it, then there's maintenance, the services and everything. So that experience also matters. So some people are like, you might have heard people say when they even buy mobile phones that, "Arey yaar, I don't want to buy this company's mobile phone because I won't get service later on."
yeah.
So you see how that thing also impacts a user to take decision whether to spend money on a product or not, whether it's a car or even a mobile phone. People
Yeah.
are, they want the services, they want the experience to be seamless for them.
Yeah.
So that is the whole gist of whatever you're talking about today, UX, basically
Yeah,
the user
exactly.
experience.
Yeah, it's like if you enter a place and they're, treating you with tea and whatever that you want, you're going to be in a good mood, and obviously you're going to think about the purchase at least. So that's what it is. It's very clever, but that is how it works. You make it so, you make the users, basically you make it seamless. You make you make them feel better, and lighten up their mood, and then you slowly introduce your product to them, saying like, sir,
It
please
just
ले लीजिए.
seems कि हाँ सही तो है, मतलब ठीक है.
Yeah, exactly. So if you entered a shop and they're like, no, you need to take this, they shove it in your face and say, you need to buy this thing. You're not going to buy it. You're going to be like, this is bad experience. I'm not going to ever return to this place. So it's very clever. I think user experience is also very clever. How you can coerce the audience or your user
Acha, what do
to
you think about
buy.
this, that UX designers, or basically this field of UX designing, also involves a lot of human psychology, like the understanding of a human mind?
Definitely, there's so much. If you talk about like specifically like behavioral psychology, and like I think I don't remember most of those terms, because like I'm very into like reading about psychology and all that. But again, I don't remember most of these terms. But yeah, behavioral psychology is very linked with UX design, because psychologists, if you talk to people who've studied psychology, right, they're going to be like, oh, you're doing this because you feel that way and that thing happened and something like that. And so that is the connection. That is how designers also connect things. So
Exactly.
everything is interlinked. So if you think you're not going to make a bad decision because you're in a bad mood, that is wrong. You are going to make a bad decision if you're in a bad mood. So that's also a saying, right? Like, don't ever take a decision if you're like angry or whatever.
Yeah,
So
correct.
all of these things matter. We just neglect them. It's just probably an Indian thing. We'll just neglect these things, but that's how it works. That's exactly how it works. This is all UX, guys. This is
Yeah,
all.
but this is like off topic, but I feel India needs proper awareness about mental health, and we actually start we need to start seeing psychiatrists or therapists if you need it. Basically, that thing should be more widely available. That's very
Definitely,
important.
definitely. I think that the fact that we are able to openly talk about it, our generation, is also
That's
an
correct.
indication of like progress. We also do these weekly discussions, right, in our community every week. So that's also, it's very eye opening, because when you speak to people, you think that you are the only person that feels this way, and there are not many people who
Correct.
relate to you. But when you go there, and you see so many people who relate to you completely, and have great opinions about these things, it's great. So yeah, that's a very important thing that we also need to.
Akash has written on a previous conversation कि चाय पिलाया है सही ही बोल रहा होगा. That's right. वो आ
That's
जाता है
true.
अंदर से. कह रहे यार चाय, अच्छा चाय अच्छी बन गई फिर तो और अच्छी बात है फिर तो.
Yeah, if you enjoy your tea, then though you're sold.
Correct.
That is that is how exactly what UX is. It's very creative. It's a very a rewarding field, I would say, because you get to, as you said, you get to develop something from scratch. You get to see how it basically grows. A small thing grows into an idea, grows into an entire product, and all of it is a lot of fun.
When
And
we
of
actually
course,
start to talk about this, you actually realize that almost every single thing in the world works on the principles of UI UX. Like every single thing, it is very deep.
yeah,
And see again, if like nowadays I have to cook by myself. Okay, I'm living alone right now, so I have to make my own food. So I was just normally thinking that, okay, I am making this thing and there's some other person in a five-star hotel making the same thing, but there's a huge difference. But again, that's the whole UI UX part only, right? CICX or whatever. Like first of all, the whole ambience of the restaurant, and then then again, step by step, you can actually break down every single thing into different steps of UX design. The starting from the actual first interaction till the last interaction. It's
yeah,
like it's like amazing to think of it in that matter, and you actually get to learn a lot of things from this real world examples. If you start deducing this
yeah,
in the form of UI UX, then you are going to become a better designer, I think, because you can actually, because if you keep on doing this with different things, then when you actually have to do it for a product or a website or even a logo, whatever branding, whatever it is, you'll be pretty good at it, and you'll be like very quick to take decisions and do something out of it.
yeah. I think like being a designer or learning about things or breaking down things also, like, because you have to do this for UX, right? It also teaches you a
Exactly.
lot on how to deal with like general stuff in your life. It also teaches you so many things, breaking down things and understanding things from the core.
It teaches you patience. That's one thing that it teaches you,
Definitely,
because
definitely.
there are thousands of changes involved, and before a product is actually shipped. So
Yeah.
that patience you learn with UI UX.
Yeah, a lot of life lessons also in UX. So that's why we keep coming down to life lessons and psychology. But yeah, it is all interlinked. It is all just like you said. It is
That is why
everything in
everyone
our
seems to
life
be
is UI
talking
and
about UI UX, right? You have Sapta, you have Ansh Mehra's videos. Again, see, a very good example. We also hosted Ansh Mehra for another session on UI UX itself, so you can watch that as well. But if you watch videos that he put out on his channel, no matter what is inside the video, the content is great. Whatever content he is, producing, whatever content he is giving away, whatever he's teaching, that's amazing. But the whole overall experience of watching that video, that is on just another level. I don't think so any other creator in the UI UX space is putting that much into creating a single video. Okay, there are a very less. Shitish Thakkar, yeah, I think he's a 19-year-old boy, right? On Instagram, it's like
Mhm.
XT design, right? I know. We were talking with him also for a kind of an intro session or something to inspire other people. Like at just the age of 19, he's been doing all of this for like the past 2-3 years with UI UX. So again, the amount of these creators, Ansh Mehra specifically, if I talk about him, the amount of production that goes into creating just one single video to actually cater the experience for the viewers so that they stick till the end of a half an hour video or a 1 hour video. It's just amazing, and that is what everyone has to learn. Like generally also for a life lesson, or even if you're a UI UX designer, then you have got a great line of mentors for you out
Yeah,
there, and also great competition as well, because these creators are just I think just 5 to 6 years older than you. So you've got great competition as well. So yeah, definitely, it's a great time to be alive. Really, this whole
Yeah.
time that we're in right now, the whole generation. This is a really amazing. The internet age is just amazing, and I'm
Yeah.
always amazed by the fact that what are things you can do now.
Agreed, agreed. I think for UX also, because it's not the time that UX is evolved so much that there are like, it's not like an SWE role after doing your engineering,
Correct,
because
correct.
everyone's running after that. It's not like just engineering. It's like it is in a place where there is room to grow, and there's also a lot of mentors and people that you can draw inspiration from. So
Exactly.
it's a great amazing time to start learning about UX and UI and whatever that draws your attention. So
Correct.
yeah, there is a great future ahead for all UX designers out there, I guess. And
That's true.
we love it because again we have our club called Redesign in DoCoNation, where we
Yeah.
have these weekly meetups. We motivate each other, inspire people to work on their interfaces, whatever project that they're working on, and we also give out like challenges and all that. So all of it is a way to promote designers and to get out there, share your work, and
Exactly.
take account,
Like
become
in the
accountable.
previous sorry, in the previous meet, we actually shared the information about our first open source project that we are making inside the community itself, so that that is actually a product, that is a nice high level project that we are doing. And it's totally being done through the community, through DoCoNation itself. So that means from the starting design system to the wireframes to the screen design, UI design, and then also the development part. So we have multiple clubs. We have design club, we have development club, that's called bug house, we have design, that is redesign. All of these clubs are there, and these clubs are going to contribute to create this product that all of the other students can use. Because with DoCoNation, our vision is that we want to create a kind of a ecosystem for students at one single place. So for example, you use you use Google. So you have Google, the Google's mail, you have Gmail, you have Google Drive, you have Google Meet, you have Google Doc, Google Sheet. It is a pure suite of uh, tools that you require to do anything on a general basis. In the same way, our aim with DoCoNation is to make more and more products based on students, so that students can have their own ecosystem of different products and projects that they can use for their own good. Okay, whatever it may, like the one which you are making right now is a resume maker. Okay, so because it's a community based project, open source project, so there won't be any shortage of templates. You will never run out of templates, because I'm hoping that every single month we'll get at least 2 to 3 new templates from the community itself. I know we'll get more, but generally speaking, minimum we will get 2 to 3 templates every single month. And the teams, again, in different clubs, they're going to be there for developing it, and then again pushing the code, and deploying it again with the new templates every single time. So that's what we are trying to do here with with DoCoNation, what we are. And the first step towards that, we'll actually be seeing it tomorrow in the where we'll be launching our app that we have prepared for now. It's just in the testing, not the testing phase, it's in the beta phase. So again, the users can sign up and check out the whole experience and give us feedbacks on how we can improve. And then slowly, steadily, each and every module we are developing it, and one by one we'll be deploying different updates. So through updates, that beta version will finally come to be the first official version. So that's what we are going to do. So tomorrow we'll be revealing that, and we are really excited for that.
Yes. So yeah, we've been waiting for this for so long, and
Exactly.
tomorrow we'll finally be launching our app. Yeah, we're super excited for it. I think we have come to the end of this session today. Today, that is UX
Yeah.
design and breaking it down. It was a fun chat. I think we enjoyed ourselves, and I hope all the audience also enjoyed listening and basically talking about UX.
Yeah, also just do let us know in the chat right now, those who are here, do you like these kind of sessions? Like, apart from, see, we do sessions where we are teaching something, okay, like tutorials or live builds, whatever it is. We also do sorry, I have a really bad cough. Okay, So we also do sessions where we are talking to some personality from the industry, where we are interviewing them and getting some insights in this, industry insights from them, and just making everyone aware about different careers. That's a part of our podcast, Exploring Career. Okay. So apart from that, what do you think about these kind of sessions where we are just taking one topic and we are talking about it for a while, like not like 1 hour talking about it, but yeah, generally like half an hour or maybe 40 minutes, 45 minutes. What do you guys think about these kind of sessions? Just let us know. Is it like fun to watch? Is it like some you get to know about some good insights? Is it helpful, or what should we do? Because again, as a community, we want to take feedback from directly from the users itself. See again theme, CICX, UI UX.
Yeah. Anything you say now, we're just going to see it as everyone here is going to see everything as UI or UX, and we're going to break down
Everyone
every
will be
single
like,
thing.
"Arey, ye to UX hai."
Definitely.
Okay, it gives the main idea behind each and every aspect, and also fun to watch. That's nice. Thank you
That's
so
great.
much.
Thank you. Akash says coughing is a bad personal experience.
Yeah, so the whole environment shift, city shift, and also see again, also the whole seasonal change and all. It always gets me every time.
Yep. Conversation style sessions will be good. That's great. So
Nice.
we can do more of this.
Yeah, because like then we don't also have to prepare no properly. We just have to talk about it. Like we do prepare,
Yeah.
we have like proper outlines or some kind of we have a flow that
Yeah.
first this, then we'll talk about this and all. But the rest of it is just whole totally improvised, and we just normally give whatever knowledge we have, we like to share it.
Yep. These sessions are always fun to talk because you can just get down to the roots and
Exactly.
like
Like I didn't know I was gonna show you the calculator app on OnePlus, but I anyways did it because that just came up in between conversation. So
yeah.
that's the beauty of these kind of sessions where you're just talking and you end up, you end up somewhere totally different from what you're actually talking
Yeah.
about, and that's like a whole beautiful journey that you take from start to the end.
Yeah. Who knew we'd end up talking about
Dora.
psychology and just life?
Yeah. Okay, then I think that is all that we have for today. And I
Yeah.
hope that you guys liked the whole session that we had talking about UX. Basically, that was the whole session. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. The video is already live streaming on YouTube, so you can go rewatch it if you want. If you missed a section, maybe some network issues or whatever, you can rewatch it. Those who are watching on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. General YouTube drill. Huh, that won't be visible. Okay, anyways. But yeah, like do join the community. The links are going to be in the description. The clubs that we are talking about, you can go to doconation.com/clubs. Again, the link is going to be in the description. You can check it out. All of those things. And yeah, do share it with your friends, those who are here right now in the live session. So again, YouTube viewers, we do this live. So if you don't want to miss out on this whole live, live event, and you want to be a
Experience.
part of it, experience, correct, live experience. So do join the community. Okay, so that every link is very properly arranged. So you can just normally doco.link/discord. You'll be taken to the Discord community, or again in the description you'll find everything. Okay, so the
Yep.
live viewers, everyone who is here, please share it with your friends so that they can also get some great insights, and they can also be a part of the community and grow together, learn together. That is the main motive. And yes, tomorrow we are launching the app, so I'm very excited. So hope to see you tomorrow in this app launch event as well. It's not going to be too long. It's just going to be a few friends who made an app together. We'll be just talking about it. So yeah, it's going to be great.
Yep. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. We had a great time. We'll have more sessions like these, obviously. And yeah, we're looking forward to it. Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.